Well, it looks like the spring home buying season is already off to an early start in Sacramento, with home prices catapulting up over the past 2 weeks. However, a close look at the data suggests that, in fact, we may be in store for a more temperate spring in Sacramento. In fact, there's even a couple rays of light for Sacramento homebuyers looking to make a purchase this year in 2025. I'm Jon Schwartz, California's 1% Homebuyer Agent. Moving forward, I'll be posting these Sacramento real estate updates every other week, so subscribe and come back to stay on top of your market. And visit jonsch.com to learn how you can save 60% on Realtor fees on your next Sacramento home purchase. That's jonsch.com. Now let's get into the data. And we're looking at the latest weekly print from Redfin for the Sacramento metropolitan statistical area, which of course includes all of Sacramento's suburbs. We're looking at median sale price. As we can see this week, the median sale price of a home in Sacramento was $574,000. That's bouncing up from the trough of $554,000. And what I want to point out is the slope of this growth. That is some pretty quick growth, and you can see it is in line with our 22 numbers. That's the black line, much steeper than what we had going on in 2024 and 2022. Sorry, the blue line is 2023. And the reason I want to point out this slope is just to remind you that, again, this is what we're seeing this year. This is what we were seeing in 2022. At this time in 2022, we were aware that rates were going to soon start climbing. The Fed had announced that rate hikes were coming, and everyone knew that mortgage rates were going to climb with the Fed rate hikes, and the market got very active. So we can see visually in this chart that we have entered a very active market in Sacramento based on what's happening with prices. Now looking at the new listing median price of homes in Sacramento. This is the median price at which new listings came to market this week, and that number this week was $605,000. That's $1,000 off of last week, which is good, because last week we were just $6,000 shy of the all-time peak for new listing median price set in June of last year. Now, new listing median price is an indicator of realtor sentiment. It lets us know where realtors think the market is going. Obviously, realtors had high hopes here in January, and they've tempered a bit in the past week. But after the pivot we saw 2 weeks ago and the steep climb in prices since then, I think agents may have had the right idea. Now we're looking at new listings. This is the number of new listings that came to market in Sacramento this week. We were flat this week at 465 new listings, but even though we were flat nominally, we actually grew relative to last year from 12.7% growth last week to 14.6% growth this week. And we're going to need this new listing metric to stay well above last year's numbers to provide more inventory to the market if we're going to try to hit any kind of moderate pricing come spring and summer. And now we're looking at homes sold. This is the number of homes that sold this week in Sacramento. We're at 314 homes sold. That's 7.8% above last year. And as you can see, homes sold has floated about that much above last year all year. And what this represents is the increased appetite for homes right now, as well as a increased tolerance for mortgage rates hovering around 7%. Now looking at pending sales, this is the number of homes that went pending this week. Pending sales is a leading indicator of homes sold because a home goes pending, i.e. enters contract, about 30 days before it becomes a home sold, i.e. the contract completes and the sale completes. And as you can see, pending sales has been right with or slightly trailing last year's numbers all year. This week we are at 452 homes that went pending, which is trailing last year's numbers by 6%. Now, with homes sold outpacing last year, but pending sales lagging behind last year's numbers, that means we should start to see homes sold numbers declining in the month ahead. That's good news for home buyers. Fewer homes being sold means fewer homes exiting the market, meaning more inventory staying on market, meaning more supply, meaning downward pressure on pricing. Now we're looking at active listings, and we are still a healthy margin above last year's numbers. Right now there are 3,611 active listings on the Sacramento market. That's up 17% from this time last year. This is going to be the metric to watch. We're going to need active listings to remain above last year's numbers in order for pricing to remain moderate this spring and summer. And now we have something of a ray of light. We're looking at weeks of supply. This is a metric that balances supply against demand. And weeks of supply as a metric has actually been growing all year. Right now we are at 12.6 weeks of supply on the Sacramento market. That's 1.9 weeks more than the same period last year. And if this metric continues to grow, which is likely given that pending sales is trailing behind last year's numbers, well, then we're definitely looking ahead to moderate price growth this spring and summer, as opposed to what the past 2 weeks have indicated, which is a hot start to a hot spring and summer season. That's good news. And one more ray of sunshine for Sacramento homebuyers. Right now we're looking at median days on market, and we are at a relatively high number, 44.2 median days on market for a Sacramento listing. That's 8 days more than the same period last year. What that means is Sacramento homebuyers have an extra week to go shopping. A slower market, a market with more median days on market, is a market that allows homebuyers more time to find the right home. So, Sacramento homebuyers, don't worry. Prices really climbed in the past 2 weeks, but everything else seems to indicate that we're going to have a calm, or at worst, normal spring and summer. So take your time, and while you're taking your time, take a moment to enjoy my 2025 California Homebuyers Guide with everything you need to know to make sure you're making the right decisions buying a home this year, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.